Welcome back to Peril Pending, and today we're looking at a very angry reform. Some of you may have already seen this. It's Robert Jenrick. Yes, he did. We kind of briefly covered it a little bit yesterday, actually. He did a talk where he said, "We at Reform will fight a death tax to the death," I guess. Something along those lines. The only problem is, there's no such thing as a death tax. In fact, it seems that this has been made up by Reform, by the Daily Mail, pretty much by anybody who's just, I guess, looking to spread more fear in the country that we all live in. Today, we are looking at an article from the London Economic by Charlie Herbert titled "Robert Jenrick and Reform Rage at Policy That Doesn't Exist." Let's get into it. Reform's Robert Jenrick has been fuming about a so-called death tax from Labour, despite the fact there is no evidence that this policy will be introduced. Yes, so yeah, I mean, is anyone surprised? They're dropping in the pools. They're going to have to throw out something, and well, this is Reform UK. They don't do actual policy. They don't do solutions. So what do? They try and scare people into at least not voting for the competition. But what this is was when talking about how to fix social care, Burnham didn't rule out a tax rise. And this was taken by places, like I mentioned earlier, like the Daily Mail, for example, and the Telegraph, who then invented this death tax boogeyman. But obviously, as the article states, neither Burnham nor any of his cabinet have said anything about whether a death tax would be implemented this time round for social care reform. But obviously, that didn't stop Jenrick from spreading fear. You know, that's Reform's bread and butter. Why would they let facts get in the way of their feelings? It hasn't gotten in the way before, so why would they change now? And at that press conference on Thursday, the Newark MP, Robert Jenrick, spoke of people getting a knock on the door by the taxman after relatives die. Reform went as far as to call for a general election over the non-existent death tax. And writing in a post on X, the British people did not vote for the death tax. We need a general election now. As you'd expect, many people ripped into this. And, well, let's have a look at a couple of them. You've got Jessica Elgott from The Guardian, who wrote a pretty good summary, if I do say so myself. Jenrick tells the Reform UK press conference this morning an official will come to your dying mother's bedroom to tot up her jewellery, brooches and coats under Annie Burnham's new death tax, which, let's remember, doesn't actually exist. Pippa Crerar, definitely got that wrong again, from The Guardian, also put it quite neatly as well. Andy Burnham yesterday, before Robert Jenrick condemned a social care policy that doesn't exist, is quoted as saying, "Please, can we have a factual debate? Can we allow people to weigh up the different options and then just come to a considered view based on those facts? I don't think it should be too much to ask, because I think the public will give us their view. They'll make it really clear what they feel they can accept and what they can't. We won't get to the point if there's all this stuff swirling around and everyone frightened about everything. That just won't get us there." That all sounds pretty grown up. No wonder Robert Jenrick was against it. The article ends by saying, "A review of social care in England by Baroness Casey will be published next summer," with Burnham saying this should look into how a national care service could be paid for. Honestly, is anyone really surprised? Is anyone surprised that this is what Reform's doing? They're just flailing around because, well, it looks like support for them is declining. We're going to get into that a lot more tomorrow. Make sure you catch that episode. But I have a feeling that Reform are going to try and claim a win on this. Stay with me. If Reform are still around when this plan's finally published and there's no quote-unquote death tax, they're going to say that's thanks to them. Even though there hasn't been any sign of such a tax. You can just tell, can't you? This is what this is their playbook. And really this is sort of endemic of Reform, isn't it? They scream and cry and moan and whinge, and they never offer an answer. And then they get upset when they don't get a seat at the adults' table. It's because you act like children. A plan, you are just making this up. You are painting an enemy that nobody else has spoke of except you, and you're saying, look at this, look what they're doing. It's just not grown up. It's not adult politics. And then there's this combined with Lee Anderson, who's constantly posting pictures and videos of himself patting a bacon sandwich. Lads, fellas, everybody else in Reform, pick a lane. Do you want to be a joke party, or do you want to be serious politicians? Someone who was actually there to try and fix the country. I have a feeling I know which side you're going to fall on, but those are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments down below, and I'll catch you next time while the peril's still pending.